Hey guys, welcome to the pod team. My name is AJ.
Hello guys, this is Lex. Welcome back to another video. And AJ, buddy, what do we have today, man? What's new?
We'll do a little market analysis of what's going on in the market and what you should prepare for next week. And I think Lex is going to talk about the drone and the Russian jet controversy that's going on. It's actually trending right now because last week or 3 days ago we were just talking about that, and we were basically saying that the Russia and US were playing tag with each other, and Russia accidentally hit the propeller, and now the drone went down, and basically mom and dad aren't happy, and they're basically saying that it's probably more than what it looked like. Well, tell us more details. What happened there, Alex?
Well, that happened March 14, like around 7 a.m. And it is funny the way I saw the video, and it's kind of funny how they are kind of saying that the Russian pilots were not being careful, per se. And that video shows fuel being put on the drone. But one thing I don't see in that video is when they collide. So because apparently they hit each other, or Russian jet hit the drone. I didn't see that in the video. I would like to see it just to make sure that it was what they say it is. But I think you had the video, right?
Yeah, I could pull that video up right now.
Before you show the video, what do you think about that, AJ?
Well, I didn't watch the whole video fully, but the part that I did watch is that Russian jet's coming over, a bunch of fuel is being dumped on it, and then the camera turns to the back and it shows like propeller being damaged. So, I mean, I don't know what to expect from that, but I mean,
I I think that drone has a 360 camera view. They can turn it 360.
yeah,
Why is it that they don't it doesn't show the whole thing?
yeah. I mean, I'm really not sure, but we could watch the video and see
Let's do it.
how they're showing it.
And this is so people will know what we are talking about and what the news here in the US are talking about too.
Showing the physical confrontation between a U.S. surveillance drone and two Russian fighter jets over the Black Sea. This video, released by the Pentagon, shows the warplane making several aggressive maneuvers near the drone and dumping fuel on it. This is the moment one jet got too close and collided with the propeller. The Pentagon released pictures of the damage.
I guess you could see there, like there's a damaged propeller. So I guess that went down, but I mean,
But that's not show me when they hit each other. That to me, it could have been damaged before it happened. You know what I mean? Before it was in the air.
yeah.
It-
So listen to what this guy says. I think he's like saying that the Russians are saying that we are flat out lying. Let's hear what he has to say.
Evening, Nora. One White House official today said the Russians have been, quote, flat out lying when they say two Russian jets never touched the drone. Now they released the images to prove it. The footage shows Russian jets making two passes from behind the drone, dousing it in a cloudy stream of fuel before one clips its propeller. Separate still images show what the drone's propeller looked like before and after. The damage forcing American operators to let it glide down into the Black Sea. The visual evidence appears to refute Russia's claim that neither of its jets hit the drone. We felt that it was important to provide this imagery. One U.S. official tells CBS News it was clear the Russian pilot meant to drench the drone in gasoline, but cut it too close. Nora spoke with the Navy's top officer for 60 Minutes this Sunday. How often do these types of dangerous maneuvers happen with the Russian military? We are operating in close proximity to the Russians fairly often. And the vast majority of those interactions are safe and they're professional. But what happens happened with that drone over the Black Sea was unsafe, and it was unprofessional, and it was in violation of international law. CBS News has learned the Russian pilots weren't going rogue, but following orders from military leaders to harass the drone. Florida Republican Senator Marco Rubio today suggested giving the unmanned drones wingmen.
I think our response would be to fly more of these in that area and to potentially have them escorted by U.S. fighter jets who are manned and have the capability to respond.
But White House officials said that would bring great risk to American pilots and potentially escalate the crisis.
Yeah, like
Some of
no
the
shit.
found along the surface of the Black Sea was recovered today by Russian ships, but they since left the area because it's within missile range of Ukrainian forces. And now CBS News has learned the U.S. is reassessing its drone operations over the Black Sea, whether the intelligence collection is worth the risk of escalation.
So what do you think about that?
Well, I think somebody's lying, and I think the U.S. is lying.
You think the U.S. is lying?
Yes.
I wouldn't hear that from you.
Well, I'm not saying the Russian is are the good ones, but I'm just saying it doesn't.
Sorry, I
Like,
think
I'm not an
there's another
expert.
video playing.
I'm not an expert. I'm not a pilot. I know just a little bit about airplanes.
Mm-hmm.
But when you hit a plane in the air, that's not the type of damage you would. It's nothing. It's a scratch. When a plane hits another plane, there's gonna be major damages, and that's not the case. That's why I think somebody's lying.
Supposedly they're saying that it clipped their the whatchamacallit. It clipped the I'm gonna try to see if I can
Well, have you seen
uh
have you seen videos of helicopter crashing?
yeah, I did.
Just any helicopter that crashes. It doesn't take a lot for a helicopter to go down.
Yeah.
It doesn't take a lot. And that's the same thing with this drone or any airplane. It doesn't take a lot. And it just no, it doesn't make any sense to me.
So what do you think about this? So, like there's this image that they have. So this is 1, 2, and 3. Suppose he has
To me, it's
3,
not enough. It just don't make any sense. I could be wrong. I could be wrong. I just
and then right here, 1.
how close was the other? How close was the plane though? I want to
But
see the
wait, do you
video.
see the picture? Where's the yellow on this one right here? You know what I'm saying?
Show me the video where the plane hits the drum.
Correct. Yeah.
That's what I want to see. Don't edit the video. Don't show me what you think I want to see. Show me the whole thing.
Yeah, I mean, well, I mean, what my thing is, here is the fuel that just went by, and then this one got hit, right? I mean, where's the yellow marks on this too? I don't see the yellow marks on it. You see what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
but I mean, maybe you're right. Maybe someone's lying, and
No doubt about it. Something hit that drum. Probably. I just don't believe it was the jet. I don't
So
think
do
it
you
was a
think
jet.
like the U.S. is purposely saying that so it has a reason to fund Ukraine?
Probably. Probably.
At this point, I probably would. I agree with you on that. Like, it's ridiculous how we're funding a war. Did you hear that ICC just announced that Putin is a war enemy and he should be arrested for his
He
crimes?
has it. Yeah. Yeah.
And a lot of people underneath that tweet is basically saying that, what about George W. Bush for Afghanistan and Iraq? But I mean, hey, it's
AJ,
America, it's
I
American
don't,
controlled.
yes. But when you go to war, there's not, to me, There's no such a thing as a crime war. Let me explain. When you go to war, there's no rules. People need to understand that. When you go to war, there are not gonna be any rules. Do you think if Russia or China comes to the US, do you think if they see the Statue of Liberty, do you think they're gonna say, huh, don't shoot that? Don't do that because that means a lot to this country. Do you think they're gonna think about that stuff? They're not. Would you consider that to be a crime war?
I think they're gonna
Maybe.
take pictures of it though. Like, for oh, I went to America.
Yeah, but they're not gonna shut it down or shoot it down. They're not gonna do it. Or
Vice
it
versa. I
just
think
it
they
just
would do it,
they would do it. I'm sorry, they would do it. They
yeah,
would do it. Just because
and
when
they
you
would take pictures of that. Yeah, I shot down
is
the.
remember Saddam Hussein,
Yeah,
that's not they brought it down, people took pictures, and it was a trophy. Basically, that was a trophy. Same thing. It's not a crime. It happens. When you go to war, kids are gonna die, old people are gonna die, young people's gonna die, the economy is gonna die, and I'm sure there's gonna be a lot of rape.
a lot of
They're
what?
gonna rape a lot of they're gonna rape the females, ladies, that country. It's gonna happen. That's why it's called a war. And people need to understand when they say we need to go to war, no, we don't. We don't. We need to we need to think about their future, your future, my future, kids, kids' future. Ukraine right now, I can tell you, I've seen the videos and pictures. That country, I think is like 20 years. It went back 20 years.
You think
It's gonna
Ukraine
take
went
a
back
long
20
time for
years?
that country to go back to what it was a
I
year
think
ago.
I don't think anything changed. It was always corrupt. I think it's still corrupt.
Yes, but the people who's like that is not the average citizen of that country, a Ukraine. Middle class people, they suffer. Look, like the bottom, they suffer. They they don't have enough money for doctors, go to doctor, have a nice house, nice cars, go to school, like always in any other country.
But you don't
The
find
90%, 99% of the people suffers.
but you don't find anything like weird that that's the country where Joe Biden's son Hunter Biden has a whole lot of controversial things going on there. They had a whole different company that basically, did a lot of laundering. You don't think that out of all countries, Ukraine just becomes the one that Russia is worried about. And not only that, um, I think it's a bunch of propaganda going on in Ukraine that's being created by, I guess, the media over here. A lot of things doesn't add up. If we are saying Russia was doing tremendous act of, violence against Ukraine, and if Russia is such a strong country that we're proclaiming it, I think Russia could just take Ukraine over within a week if it really wanted to. But supposedly that's not happening. Supposedly the Ukrainian people are courageous and brave. That's what we're going with, and we're funding them with a lot of money, aid, and basically weapons and whatnot. But we're not really helping the people. This is just another war that is causing a distraction. And then over here, if we want to shift it to our economy, it's affecting our economy. Uh, in the beginning, if you remember, Ukraine was a major exporter of grain, right?
Right. Right.
It was supposed to affect our food and stuff and whatnot. I never knew we ever got that much grain from Ukraine. We were getting it from Canada, correct?
Right.
So where the fuck is this grain issue now? It's all of a sudden it's gone, it's forgotten.
Well, there always has to be a purpose, and that's what it is. We had to have a reason why we want to do something, and it's a marketing tool. I didn't know we were getting stuff from Russia either until like a year ago.
I mean,
Why,
remember
if we
we
hate
did that
Russia, why
video.
is this? I'm sorry?
Remember we did that video and we actually looked into it, and Ukraine was not even a major importer or exporter of United States. We barely imported or exported to them.
Right,
So,
right. And I think it's a marketing tool. There has to be a purpose why we had to go to war. There has to be a reason why. In Ukraine, it doesn't have a good record as a country, as a government. Not uh, let's blame the government, not the people. But the government doesn't have a good record of being a good government. So
well,
I,
it's basically covering up a lot of things, and then a lot of these controversies are coming up in light that someone spoke of, and then like a few months later, these controversies are actually backed up with like facts and stuff. So you lose trust in the government. So when that happens, there's what's gonna happen is gonna be a little division and a power struggle between the people and the government. And then I mean, look what's happening in France right now. You know what's happening in
yeah,
France?
yeah. Your boy is he's under pressure. There's a lot of stuff going on over there too.
So France, the reason we could talk about this in another video, like separate video, but
Yeah,
basically what's going on over there is that the president used special powers to enforce a law that even the parliament or whatever didn't agree to. They wanted to change uh the social security, basically what their social security, like their retirement, from 62 to 64. So that's basically a lot of people working their asses off and ready to retire at their age 62 that they've been doing for a long time. And you know how Europe is. Europe is way more like, relaxing than America is. America's like you gotta like always be working, working, working. So over there, they work their asses off till 62, and then they get, benefits. Now he raised it 2 years more.
by the way,
So
South Korea is also trying to increase how many hours you can work in a week. You know how we have 40 hours here?
yeah.
I think they're trying to increase it to 62 hours a week. We can do another video on that too.
Yeah, and California is trying to decrease the working hours to 32 hours a week.
See,
So, I mean, that means you have to work at least like freaking, if you work 5 days, you're working 12 hours a day. I mean, for business people, like, I mean, work is work, but like, I don't know, man, like pushing people too far to do something that they're already like, struggling to do, and then not they don't see any benefits to doing that, you're just gonna have an uprising.
yeah. Eventually,
That's what's
that's
happening
gonna
in France.
eventually when you work too much, your employees are not gonna produce the same. So you're gonna basically have to hire more people to do the same work because the couple of people you had, they're too tired to work and produce at 100%. It's a bad idea. But going back to Ukraine and your best friend Biden
Yeah,
Jr.
going back to Russia and Ukraine and US, I
Biden
think
Jr. I think they're talking a lot about him. So something must be true. This money he's getting paid, that the whole family is in the whole circle is getting paid.
Supposedly he got paid in from China too.
China, yeah.
His family got paid from China.
Something must be true.
So I mean I mean like either, and the media doesn't want to talk about it. None of the big media outlets are talking about it, but you know, you'll see it all over Twitter. So I mean, there is obviously there's two different sides. Now,
Yeah.
is it under one umbrella? Who knows? And it's just trying to keep the American people busy, like, you know, and divided. That could be one of the gameplays that they have, you know, keep them divided so, you know, they have something to focus on. Now, my motto is, you know, work work within your limits and then work with no words. So just continue doing what you got to do till you make it, and then, you know, after that, get away from all this if you can, you know, so you don't have to, you know, get in this kind of messes. But and going forward,
Well,
if I'm
one thing I know, one
huh?
thing I know,
Mhm.
I'm sorry, is that what you just said. I'm just gonna add to what you just said. Work, stay focused. Don't wait for the government to come and help you out because that's not a good thing and it will never end well. Never. Don't have the government or hope the government's gonna be there for you. Just work, be smart, and save.
So going forward, back to the issue, Russia. If I was Russia, man, I think I would do something. If I'm going to do something, I'd do it in this administration. I would do something during this administration. I
You
wouldn't do
know,
it waiting on a new administration to come, because you mean they'll probably not take it the same way. So if, like, let's say Trump comes back, I don't think Putin has the opportunity to do anything
if
at that time.
If Trump comes back, it's gonna be a lot easier for Putin to do something. Trust me on this one.
You think so?
Yes. I
No.
really, really, really thought he was gonna do something when Trump was in power because Trump
Trump
sees
had him in
Putin.
check, man. Trump had
No,
that boy in
no.
check.
Trump talks a lot. He's a talker.
Yeah, and
He's not
no,
a
he's a
doer.
doer.
No, he's not. Not when it comes to that. He sees Putin like he's Superman to him. He admire Putin, and that's a mistake.
Man, I
N-
don't know.
I I'm going to disagree with you on that. But if Trump comes back, Putin is gonna be he's gonna throw a party. Big one too. Watch.
Man, let me show you a clip over here. Let me show you this clip. You see this? Watch this. Watch his handshake right here. Look at this. You see how he pulls Putin in?
It, that doesn't mean anything. That really doesn't
Man,
mean anything. Let me tell you why. Let me tell you what. He knows there's a bunch of cameras. He wants to be the bigger man. He wants to tell Putin, I got you.
okay, so if all right,
Not on that one. You know why? Because that video was to me was a stage. It was both of them knew they were meeting. So Trump was ready. He just
I think Trump would open up a can of whoop ass on Putin, like
no,
big time,
no.
big time. And I think no, if that escalated, but I don't think if Trump comes in office, I don't think it would
You know
escalate.
what? Just to see that, I will probably vote for Trump just to see that. Would
It
you?
won't happen. Nothing would happen because I think Trump knows that, you know, for business, he would come up with like some kind of a plan for all of them to, you know, work along.
I'm a,
Because
I think we're gonna agree to disagree on this one.
no, Lex, we can't agree to disagree because I need you to agree with me on this. You really think that Biden can actually do something different than Trump? Like, because what has Biden done besides give money and money and money to the Ukrainians?
Well, but I think they know, the US, the European Union knows that if they go and that's the only thing that the US can do and the European Union give weapon to these guys and money
But
because of
why?
the
Why,
because
Lex? Why them? Why are we giving them money? Why are we giving them any weapons at all? First of
I
all,
don't agree that we had to give them money. And I don't agree with that.
why do you
But
think it's okay to give
but
them weapons too?
it wouldn't be different if Russia. See, the problem is that Russia started the whole thing.
No, wait. Let's backtrack on that. Let's go with the facts. We are giving them money
Mm-hmm.
before this ever even happened. We've been sending in, our military in there to start bases for NATO. Now, the first thing is first. Ukraine does not want to be a part of NATO. Why? If we're giving them money and if we're giving them weapons, they should agree to be with NATO. Why isn't any other European country assisting them that as we are? Now all of a sudden we have France giving them weapons, Germany giving them weapons. Why is that trend starting? Because if they're not NATO, why are we backing them up? And if they are going to be NATO, then as Russia, I would feel like, okay, y'all are creeping towards my area. When that thing was signed, basically they were saying that, these countries are going to be independent nations. Nobody's going to, not the West or the East is going to mess with them. But now you're seeing this play in, and now
Right.
Russia supposedly is starting everything when for a fact why Russia's starting it. Like if someone was to come towards your property and like inches and inches closer to you, how would you react to that?
The same way Russia did. I'm not saying Russia that the reason why Russia is not doing it right, they should have done it differently. To me, they should have. They killing too many people, and that doesn't look good on Russia. It's not the war is not official. You know what I mean? E-
There's
Everybody's
a
talking.
war between
It,
them
it
two.
right, but if you ask the U.S., it's not a big. It's a big deal, but it's not such a big deal where they need to step in physically.
No, they needed to step in because now they burst the pipeline over there too. That's the number one reason why they wanted to step in.
You know, the president of China is going to Russia, right? I think next week.
China's supporting Russia. They're supposedly sending them weapons and stuff. And the US is saying, oh, well, they're not sending them like deadly weapons. Come on now.
Weapon is a
You gotta
weapon.
be
A gun is a gun.
you gotta be like just I'm a proud American. I love this country. I love where it stands for, but it's literally making people think that they're fools, and everyone knows what's going on. But I guess
AJ,
it is what it is.
the
I mean,
the pr-
I'll turn around if I'll look the other way if you ask me to. I'll look the
well,
other way.
the problem is not the country. The problem is not the U.S. This country is a beautiful. I love this country like you do, but the problem is not this country. The problem is the politicians. That's where the problem is. And I don't care if you talk about Republicans or Democrats. These guys are almost the same thing. Nothing changes but the name of the party. That's it. Bush did it. Obama did some things. Every president is gonna go through things and they're gonna make bad decisions. And it doesn't look right. It doesn't look good. We can keep talking about the US government and how it's helping or not helping Ukraine. The problem here is the people of Ukraine. They're dying. That's the biggest issue. Why is it that the United States don't really take this serious and have a serious talk with Russia and finish it, end it? If Russia wants half of Ukraine, if that's what it takes, do it. I know it doesn't sound, it might not sound as a good idea, but think about how many people how many lives they would save. We already had, we have North Korea and South Korea. Let's split it in half. This will not be the first time.
Yeah.
Cut your losses and make it right. I think that would be something that they could probably work on. But there's not enough will to do that because there's no money. I'm trying to fix Ukraine and Russia. If they end this war, millions are gonna be lost on weapons. There's companies making money off of that. You know, killing people is a market. They
Yeah.
make money. So because it has become a market, every war has become a market and a moneymaker. So that's not gonna happen. This is gonna keep going this year, maybe next year, and probably we're gonna see that 3 years from now.
I think it's gonna take a whole decade for this to like even slide out.
Yeah, yeah. But I just honestly I do feel like we need I hear people and people that I talk to and they say, nah, we need to go to war. We need to show the world who we are. Okay. We haven't seen anything here in a long time. Do you know how bad it feels when you hear more than one gunshot all night long? You can't go out to the club on Friday. You can't go to dinner on Saturday. You're not allowed to go to the movies on Sunday. You can't go to work. You don't have food, but you have to stay home because it's too dangerous to go and look for food. We haven't gone through that here. And a lot of people here think it's a movie. That's not a movie. Whatever people's going through in Ukraine and other countries is the real thing. And I don't want to see that here in this country. I don't want to see it. It
Yeah.
will be tough for another country to come here and walk here in this country. You and I probably will never see that, but there is a chance that happening. The way it's going, it might happen. Like I said, maybe you and I are not gonna see it. It might happen in 50 years, 75 years, but it might happen.
Man, I don't know. Everything's escalating really quick, so we
Yeah,
might see it. Who knows?
yeah. But it's
But
anyways, man, is what's happening right now with these two countries is we just hope it's gonna get better. That's
yeah,
the only thing I'm trying to see.
I mean, dang, Lex, you put me in like an emotional vibe. Like,
Well, we need to understand, AJ, how it is, man. This is not a Super Bowl game that we're gonna get excited and go and watch it, and you're gonna pick a team. When you go to war, it's not like that.
yeah,
It's very difficult, and it's very, very, very sad.
yeah.
But do you think the market is gonna be a problem with maybe the president of China going to visit Russia next week?
I think that will cause a little volatility, basically. But that next week, going into the market, we'll see a lot of volatility. So if we're gonna do a market analysis on the stock market, basically next week, March 22nd, 23rd, 21st, 22nd is the Fed meeting. We got First Republic falling today, pre-market, and then tourism whole market, it was just terrible. They decided to do a public offering of shares, or private offering of shares for their bank. So basically, they're selling their shares, and which caused the stock to drop. Even though J.P. Morgan, Wells Fargo, Bank of America, Goldman Sachs, like basically a total of 11 banks came in and gave them $30 billion. And it's basically saying it's still not enough. So that is a very alerting thing to watch out for. Also going in next week, like we said, the Fed meeting is coming up, so the market's pricing in a 0.25 basis point rate hike. Now that's very important, because if you stop the rate hike, then it's basically signaling that, hey, we probably went too high too fast, and maybe something broke, so it could be cause of concern. Now if they do 0.25 basis point hike, it could be bullish, because it's saying that, we're going to take it a little slowly so we don't cause major issues going forward. But we're still on the trend of lowering inflation, because Powell again has two major jobs that he is struggling on ever since the SVB debacle. It's whether we save our banking financial system, or do we fight inflation. Now Biden has said that inflation is his number one problem, so that's putting pressure on Powell to okay, we need to raise hikes. Now the key message on if he does raise the rate hikes, the key factor to look into is how many are going to come afterwards. Now if it comes like 2 or 3 afterwards, that's basically saying that we're in a little tightening situation, and that could probably crash markets. And if he says, hey, we're going to do a rate hike to this month, and we'll probably pause future, that's going to be a bullish run. So it's key things to look forward to. Also, things that came out were the Fed has been stimulating the economy, so it's like a little pivot. So that could be another news for being bullish too. That's why the markets are still holding strong, even though these banks are falling. So yeah, that's market analysis.
Well, I hope it's gonna be a good week next week, so
All
you
right,
can make
Lex.
some money.
We'll see you guys tomorrow. Lex is going to come up with some more stories, and he'll follow through on the Russia, Ukraine, and US situation. And I'll follow through on the stock market situation. So we guys got you covered on the worldly news side.
Thank you guys, and we will see you in the next one.
Take care.
Take
Bye-bye.
care.
Like, share, and subscribe. Follow the Potsy for more news. Bye-bye.